What's going on, guys, and welcome back to some more Minnesota Vikings franchise. And in case you missed last episode, some big things went down late in that game against Denver. Ponder and Morris Claiborne were both injured. Ponder's going to miss 3 games, and Claiborne's going to miss 9, not including the bye week. So I left it up to you guys to choose my new nickel back, because I had to sign a new cornerback, and you guys wanted to see Alphonso Smith play in that spot. And I'm going to move Mark Harrison to the number 2 receiver right now, just because I'm kind of rotating guys in there, seeing if anybody can stand out and go on a hot streak. So it's not really a permanent position, so I'm throwing in Mark Harrison. And this week the Vikings take on the Oakland Raiders, who are coming off of a high-scoring defeat at the hands of the Miami Dolphins. They have quarterback Danny O'Brien, Darren McFadden at running back. You can see their highest rated players here. Punter and kicker top the list, with their left tackle up next. And then they got like Tyvon Branch and Darren McFadden, Alameda Ta'amu, although he is hurt, Tommy Kelly. And at receiver, Danny O'Brien will be throwing into Jacoby Ford, Denarius Moore, Zach White, and Lewis Murphy. So see their injuries here. Alameda Ta'amu is the big one. They're out for 5 weeks. But the first home game is up now for the Minnesota Vikings. And it's their first game without starting franchise quarterback Christian Ponder and their number 1 cornerback Morris Claiborne. So we'll go into the game now, and the Raiders have the ball first, and they're on offense. O'Brien with plenty of time to throw in. Jacoby Ford, he looks like he's coming to his own as a wide receiver in this game, and he makes a nice one-handed grab to start off this episode, and then the handoff to Darren McFadden runs over Jansen Jackson, and that's going to be good for a big first down into Minnesota territory. So they're there quickly. Then O'Brien gives it to Taiwan Jones up the middle, untouched. He breaks away from Adrian Wilson, and no one's going to catch him, and just like that, the Raiders are on top. Taiwan Jones is the spell running back for Darren McFadden, who also possesses pretty good speed himself. So now it's time for Colin Kaepernick to take over this Minnesota Vikings offense, and he gets off to a good start, hooking up with Percy Harvin for 11 yards. Now they're on the counterplay left side, Adrian Peterson, but he's dragged down quickly after having a great 200-plus rushing yard performance in Week 1. The Oakland D is focused on stopping Adrian, but on 3rd and 9, Percy Harvin makes another catch. He spins away from a defender and gets out of bounds safely after getting the first down, and now Minnesota in Oakland territory, and Kaepernick taking a shot. Mark Harrison's got to step on a man, and it's overthrown, so it's incomplete out of the end zone. And now 3rd and 8 coming up. McCluster and Rudolph in the backfield. Kaepernick back to throw. Looks left side, and whoa, Jamez Logan caught that ball, just threw it over the defender's head. He did not get his head around. It was a risky throw there, but it paid off. And then 3rd and 11 for Kaepernick. Nobody open. He wants to scramble, and he's sacked by Tommy Kelly. And they're going to lose a few yards on that sack, but they have Sebastian Janikowski, and here comes Seabass to kick through. This 54-yard field goal against his former team, and the Vikings cut this lead to 4 points. And now the Raiders on their second possession of the game. O'Brien hooks up with Ted Bolser out of Indiana. He had 3 touchdowns in the Week 1 game, and O'Brien seems to be looking back his direction. And now 1st and 10, O'Brien wide open is Jacoby Ford. Don't let him get in open space. He's got electric speed. He ran track at Clemson. But now a new set of downs. O'Brien wants to keep airing it out, and this time he finds John Kuhn, the ex-fullback of the Green Bay Packers. He's going to escape a defender and pick up almost 20 yards on the catch. So now 2nd and inches, and O'Brien play action. Now he throws across his body. McFadden, nice play, Oakland touchdown. O'Brien's 4th touchdown pass on the season, and the Raiders have now a 14-3 lead, and the Vikings back on the attack, and there's Tommy Kelly dragging down Adrian Peterson, not letting him get too far. Not much on his first 4 carries, and now 3rd and 5, Kaepernick looking for Rudolph, but he can't hang on, and the Vikings are forced to kick the ball away. And now the Raiders are back on offense, who have had no trouble scoring on their first 2 possessions. First play of this new possession, and the pass is jumped by Adrian Wilson. He'll break out of 1 tackle, escape another. Now breaking to the outside goes Adrian Wilson, running away from Danny O'Brien and Denarius Moore. And Adrian Wilson has gotten the Vikings their first touchdown of the game. The big free agent acquisition is paying dividends here in Week 2, getting a pick 6 in his 2nd game with the team. But the Raiders back on offense, and Danny O'Brien still airing it out. Not afraid to throw the ball still. He hooks up with Denarius Moore for a first down, and now looks for Moore again. He gets a 2nd first down on this drive. Injury timeout will stop this momentum from the Raiders. Raiders momentarily, but back through the air is Jacoby Ford making a catch on a slant, his third of the first half, and now it is 3rd down and 7. Minnesota trying to hold the Raiders to a long field goal attempt. Excellent protection. O'Brien looking left side. Wide open is Zach White, and he's tackled at the 10-yard line after the 23-yard hookup. 3rd and goal. Tywan Jones runs through a defender, and he'll power his way into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. Other than Adrian Wilson's interception, the Vikings have not done much to stop this Raiders offense, and now kicking away to Christian Green, the rookie wide receiver. He's looking to break outside the 20-yard line with good blocks, and his speed's going to get past the defenders, and there goes Christian Green. Coming into the left frame comes another defender, but Christian Green's speed is enough to get him to the end zone, and just like that, Minnesota answers back. Once again, the offense is not necessary. Defense and special teams have combined for 14 points, and the Raiders would then go 3 and out, and Green would now get his hands on a punt return, but they make sure they bottle him up at the 43-yard line. But it's another good spot for the Vikings to begin their offensive drive. 2nd and 14, pass is caught by Percy Harvin, making it a manageable 3rd down and 3. Kaepernick trying to convert 3 receivers on the field, and over the middle he goes to Mark Harrison, who makes a clutch 3rd down grab. We're inside of 1 minute and 30 seconds in the first half, by the way. And now Kaepernick pumps and he wants to go deep. Jamez Logan one-on-one. The safety got over and the ball was tipped twice right into the waiting arms of Jamez Logan. And yes, in Madden 13, that should be changed because there are so many bobbles that end up being caught by offensive players. It's kind of ridiculous, but nonetheless, the Vikings are now inside the 10-yard line on 3rd down and goal. Kaepernick flushed out to his left side. Pressure gets to him. He's sacked before he can get the ball off, and the Vikings are forced to settle for a field goal, and they'll take their 1-point deficit into the second half and now try to stop the Darren McFadden and Danny O'Brien-led Oakland Raiders offense. It's now 3rd down and inches. Handoff, McFadden right side. He runs right into Vontaze Burfict, I believe that is, and he stops him dead in his tracks. They'll come out and measure, and no, in 2 plays they cannot get the 1 yard to move the chain. So the Vikings, they hold and take the ball over after a punt. And Kaepernick hooks up with Jamez Logan again for this time a 7-yard gain, making it 3rd down and 3. I formation now, play action, Peterson and Kaepernick. He's going to find his tight end, Andrew Corliss, the 2nd tight end on the roster, and that's going to be good for a 1st down, 9-yard catch, and now working out of the shotgun on 3rd down and 8. Kaepernick steps back a couple of steps and fires over the middle to Percy Harvin, will end up being 1 yard shy of the 1st down marker. And the Vikings punt it back to the Raiders, who still have a 1-point lead. And on 2nd and 1, the handoff goes to Run DMC. He gets the 1st down. New set of downs now. 2 tight ends on the field. O'Brien back to throw. Good protection from his offensive line. He wants to take a shot deep. Defensive backs converging, but it's caught by Ted Bolser inside the 20-yard line at the 16. A big catch for Bolser has him inside of the red zone, inside the 10-yard line. 2nd down and inches to the end zone. Bolser finishes the drive with already his 4th touchdown catch on the season. The Raiders now have an 8-point lead late in the 3rd quarter, trying to work Adrian Peterson still, but Minnesota's not getting much luck from their franchise running back. 7 for 17 right now. And now Colin Kaepernick airing it out. He finds Eric Decker. Perfect block by Mark Harrison. Decker up the right sideline, cuts it back inside, and he is tackled after 58 yards. That ball is not even intended for him, but I like the result. And now I formation. Kaepernick pitches outside. Adrian Peterson to the goal line. He's in for the touchdown. Kaepernick celebrates, but now the Vikings need to get a 2-point conversion to tie this game up. Twin tight ends, 2 receivers on the field. Kaepernick back to throw. Quick pass left side, Andrew Corliss. And that's going to be a 2-point conversion. And it's now 28-28. A pretty high-scoring game for my Vikings franchise here. Now the Raiders on offense, and they've had a strong offensive showing this entire day. Darren McFadden gets another impressive gain. He's over the century mark on the day overall. And now O'Brien, play action. He's getting drilled by Eric Norwood coming off with a play action fake. And the Raiders now find themselves on 3rd down and 11. Burfict trying to bring the blitz. He does get to the quarterback, and the deep pass is going to be knocked away by Jamez Logan. Vikings secondary, of course, making up for the lack of Morris Claiborne in the secondary. And now they have the opportunity to get the lead on offense if they can get down the field. Handoff Adrian Peterson doesn't go too far. Tackled by Pat Angerer. And Kaepernick now looking to throw on 3rd down and 5. Left side, Mark Harrison makes another 3rd down grab. That will move the chains and extend this drive for Minnesota, who now can open up the playbook with Kaepernick working out a lot of the shotgun in this game. 1st down and 15. And it's picked off by David Garrett. He wanted Kyle Rudolph. Kaepernick trying to chase him down. He misses the tackle, and Rudolph is there to clean up the mess, but that's a costly interception for Colin Kaepernick. And now 2nd and goal. Kuhn in motion, handoff McFadden, and he's going to be held up by Christian Jones at the 2-yard line. 3rd and goal coming up now. Kuhn in motion again, handoff McFadden, and he's met by Eric Norwood. Good run defense when it counts for Minnesota in this game, and they find themselves down by 3 though after the interception turned into 3 points for Oakland, and Peterson still frustrated not getting anything going, but you never know when he's about to bust off a 60-yard touchdown. But meanwhile, Minnesota is going to work down the field with Jamez Logan making a catch coming across the middle, and that's a big play for Minnesota. But now 3rd down and 11 from the 35-yard line. Kaepernick wants to go over the middle, overthrows his receiver Eric Decker, and the Vikings are forced to kick a field goal. Sebastian Janikowski looking for his 2nd 50-plus yarder of the game. Snap is good, held from the right hash, kick is up by Janikowski, and it splits the uprights, and Minnesota has tied the game back up with under 2 minutes to go. Clutch kicks from Seabass, and now it's 31-all as the Raiders fans look on, hoping their team can muscle out a victory here with the Vikings fighting back. And they want to continue to do so through the air. McFadden with another big catch and run. This time it's going to go for almost 20 yards as they're creeping towards midfield. O'Brien's still working out of the shotgun low snap. It's handled just fine. And now going deep. He's got one-on-one coverage. It's caught by Janarius Moore. And that was covered by Sharice Wright, who's filling in for Morris Claiborne. And, well, that's a big play given up as Logan, Peterson, and Kaepernick look on, knowing that if they're going to win, they're probably going to have to go out there and get it done on offense because Oakland's in field goal range. They'll now run the ball with Darren McFadden up the middle for 6 yards. An injury timeout does stop the clock. 3rd down and 4 now. Minnesota needs this stop, and Christian Jones, I can't get him with a user, but there is Jared Allen. And an injury timeout on McFadden will stop the clock. Minnesota does not have to burn one. And so the Raiders kick a field goal, and the Vikings will have 2 timeouts and 51 seconds to either get a field goal and send this to overtime or win it with a touchdown. And Kaepernick is going to go through the air on 1st and 10, take a shot. It's caught by Jamez Logan. What a nice catch again. Logan's had some very good catches in this game. But now 2nd and 10 with 24 seconds left. Kaepernick in the pocket, wide open is Percy Harvin over the middle. Speed's going to get him inside the 40, and now we like to think that we're in Seabass's long-distance field goal range. We can take a shot on 2nd down. Kaepernick hands it off to Peterson. They're going to get a little bit closer. They want to be safe and call a timeout with 10 seconds to go. From here, they can take a shot at the end zone, 35 yards. It's not too risky, but Kaepernick has to be smart with the football. He heaves it to the end zone. He's got one-on-one coverage. Mark Harrison, and no, he just can't handle the big moment, the big catch in the end zone. Harrison, he didn't lose it in the lights, he just dropped the ball, man. Come on, Mark, he's dropped a lot of touchdown passes. If you guys have watched this series, you know I'm not making that up. It was right in his hands, and he dropped the ball. And now the Minnesota field goal unit has to come out and kick another 50-plus yard field goal. But can Seabass handle it? Yes, he can. We're going to overtime here in the Metrodome, or whatever the stupid name is for my TV contract. But who will win the toss here? The Oakland offense has been so hard to stop, and they do get the ball. So Minnesota's defense, it's now do or die time. And they will begin at the 30-yard line and hand the ball off to McFadden out of the I formation. Good start. 1st down. He's tackled by Jansen Jackson. Keyston Terry's had a couple of injuries in this game. He's been roughed up. And it's 1st and 10 Oakland from the 42-yard line. Danny O'Brien back in the pocket. Plenty of time looking out to John Kuhn. And I just ran right past him with Sharice Wright. I messed up big time there trying to hold him to it less than a 1st down. But now the Oakland Raiders have 2nd down and goal. Handoff McFadden. He gets about 6 yards. Tackled by Keyston Terry and Adrian Wilson. But holding offense. They'll be backed up after John Kuhn held on the play. So it's 3rd down and 20 from the 49-yard line. Minnesota's defense cannot give up the big play. O'Brien back to throw. He looks for Zach White, and he's going to take a shot before he drops the ball. And now Minnesota has the football with 6:43 to go. They're at their own 4-yard line. Corliss in motion. Kaepernick. No, it's a play action in the end zone. What a risky call. And now he steps up. He's going to scramble for the 1st down. And now Minnesota's not in the shadow of their own end zone, and they're a little bit more comfortable now and can open up the playbook. But 2nd and 4. Kaepernick back in the pocket. Great protection. Mark Harrison. Another great catch, but why didn't you catch that one in the end zone, Mark? All 3 of his catches have been 1st downs, by the way. Now 2nd and 12. We're not giving up on Adrian. Left side, Kleinsasser blocking. There's Alvin Bailey leading the way. And he's only going to get about 6 yards. Only 48 rushing yards on the day thus far. 3rd and 4. Huge play for Minnesota. Kaepernick, he looks for Kyle Rudolph. He makes the catch. He should have thrown it earlier because he was open in the middle of the field, but I ended up throwing it too late. I got the first down anyways. And now Kaepernick fakes the jet sweep to Percy Harvin, and there's a sack for Rolando McClain. He's second on the day, backing up Minnesota to 2nd down and 18. Kaepernick hands the ball off to Adrian Peterson. He is stuffed by Lamar Houston after 1 yard gain. And now it is 3rd down and 17, 1 second on the play clock. Kaepernick gets the snap. He's got to go deep here. He's looking for the one-on-one matchup. He's got Mark Harrison making the catch inside the 5. The clutch catch has finally happened. Mark Harrison has finally done it. After dropping the touchdown, he makes this catch in overtime. And we're not going to mess around here in Minnesota. Look at that smile from Mark Harrison. He is a happy fella. And just look at this replay here. It was close. You got to get your hands up there, man. Defensive back, whatever your name is. But Harrison makes the catch. And all Sebastian has done this game is kick 50-plus yard field goals. This one is easy. 19-yard chip shot for the victory. Minnesota on top, 37-34 with this win over Oakland, moving to 2-0 on the year and 1-0 after Christian Ponder and Morris Claiborne's injury. Adrian Wilson is your player of the game. He had an interception for a touchdown, and Minnesota is moved to 2-0 on the season. Looking at the stat sheet now, Kaepernick over 300 yards passing, as well as Danny O'Brien, although Kaepernick had some lucky deep plays. And Adrian Peterson slowed it down, only 49 yards on 18 carries. Props to the Raiders' defense. Jamez Logan with 97 yards receiving. Mark Harrison with 87. Maybe he's earned a shot to be a returning number 2 receiver in Week 3. What do you guys think? David Garrett and Adrian Wilson had big picks, but Minnesota gets the victory. Green Bay is also 2-0 in the division, and the Vikings will take on the San Diego Chargers in Week 3. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.